Charlotte Motor Speedway has always been a dual-purpose facility. Originally containing just a 1.5-mile oval, a road course configuration was later added and utilized from the club-level racing all the way up to top-level sports car action. In recent years, the road course layout fell by the wayside until NASCAR fans demanded more road tracks populate the schedule. With tracks locked into multi-year deals and no way to explore new venues, Speedway Motorsports invested millions of dollars into beautifying what was only really a temporary course. Now a 2.28-mile, 17-turn city street-esque road course, the Charlotte Roval has built a fan base around the chaotic racing it creates. Close walls, tall curbs, tight chicanes, it's got everything you need to create great racing and ticked-off drivers. Tonight's SCRS Ferrari Challenge, round number 5, brings us to Charlotte Motor Speedway as we continue the 2020 season. Welcome to SimTV. My name is Kyle Heyer, joined by Finian Dacuna tonight. Finian, time to go racing this evening at the Charlotte Roval. Very excited to get this one underway.
Yeah, as you're saying, we got almost everything we need here for a fantastic race here tonight. The only thing I could really, as far as I notice that we're missing, is a driver by the name of Paul Darling. He is not here on the grid, at least from so far out of the 24 drivers in the session. Not here tonight, which is unfortunate because he's in second place in the points. So we'll see if he comes back maybe for a later race tonight, or hopefully at least see him back for the next round. All right, so I got to restart ATVO. We're having a little bit of a technical issue tonight. But while we're waiting here, we're going to bring you back and just going to solve this problem before we get going green tonight. We're under qualifying right now, 10 minutes before we go green. We're going to show you the promotional poster for the Rodenzo Sports Car Challenge, which will start next Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A true top-level esports broadcast from right here on SimTV. Going to be the Grand Sport GT4 cars and the Audi RS3 TCR in multi-class battles, 2 20-minute races every single round throughout the early spring and into the summer. We'll have guest commentator Tom O'Gorman up in the booth. We'll be back in just a minute. Welcome back to the Charlotte Roval. We'll head down to the racetrack here, Finian, qualifying underway. And let me tell you, how important is it going to be tonight to make sure that you get yourself a good starting position, because we're trying a new format tonight. We're trying heat racing this evening to try to see how that works things out. So what about qualifying for race number 1? How important is that going to be?
Yeah, I think definitely it's going to be important because obviously the qualifying with a heat racing format, qualifying is going to set where you are going to be for the heat. I imagine we're going to be doing 2 heats or is it
Pretty sure it's 2 heats plus a feature event sort of thing.
Okay.
I don't know how it works exactly.
Are they basically doing the same 3 races but just as
exactly?
Okay, I see.
So I don't know exactly how that's built in the beta UI, but I guess we're gonna find out.
Yeah, so I get the reason I'm guessing they're doing this is just to have a faster process, less downtime. So more or less everything should be the same.
Yeah, I would expect it to be pretty much identical to how it's run in the past. It'll just be a little bit quicker. Jeff Arroyan currently on provisional pole with a 1:17.003 and working his way out of turn number 8 right now onto the back straightaway. Let's run on board here, Finian. Let's talk to me about the new chicane here that was added last year, as we're going to see a couple more drivers heading their way towards it. Going to try to jump on board with someone that's heading there. How about Peter Vostrel? Talk to me about the chicane on the back straight.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw for a fact with the old chicane, we saw in the Ferrari All-Star race, which I think was the last time these guys came to this track, that caused a lot of death and destruction in its wake with these drivers. Here with the new chicane, you see Peter Vostrel getting slow onto the brakes and onto the binders. Navigating through it's a lot easier for sports cars to get through the chicane, making it a lot easier to race around here. You can even make a pass here too if you're brave. It's still going to be a little bit concerning going side by side, but nowhere near as much as with the old chicane.
Right, so the old chicane was a lot faster, and it was basically like a slingshot through there, and they still have these tall blue turtle curbs, as they call them, the sausage curbing, the big tall blue ones, and cars would launch off of those things. They break all sorts of stuff. Tonight, same situation, but just a very sharp, slow left-right hand chicane, so you actually slow cars down a lot.
You actually have to slow down for this one. You can't bonsai charge it like the old one, so you have to take it properly like an actual chicane.
And there's also the chicane on the front straightaway, which is on Jonathan DeCoucher negotiating just now as he works his way down towards turn number 1. He's just running a 1:17.3. Lap time didn't count, though. He's going to have to run another one. 5 minutes left in qualifying here, so 3 races, the first race of which you qualify for your starting position. You run the race wherever you finish. they're going to vert the entire field for race 2, and then race 3 is a culmination of points from race 1 and 2. So going to be interesting to see how that lines up tonight. Carter Kundinger, the number 2, another driver that is in our pro category.
Yeah, and he had an abysmal night at Sebring, to say the least. It just did not go his way for the 2 cars. So I think looking for some redemption, he would peg the wall out of turn 2. He might have to retire that lap. Looking at the 24 of Jim Benson, one of the few new drivers here tonight.
Yeah, so Jim Benson in the number 24, he's one of those new drivers with the Venom Energy car. That's a great looking livery on that machine. Other new drivers in the field, there was another one, Terry Newmaster in the 000, and on a team with the 22 car, Adams Jr., working his way around NASCAR 3 and 4.
Yeah, and also I believe, if I'm not mistaken, also Robert Haynes. It's not a name I recognize. 125.
Yeah, Robert Haynes in the 125. That's a new situation tonight. And Attrition on the side of that car. Hopefully this race tonight is not full of attrition. We're going to see quite a bit of interesting racing. We'll see how it goes.
I think it is going to be full of a decent amount of attrition. We'll have to see how much exactly of it is going to be full of.
So with 3 minutes left in qualifying, Caden Bin goes to the top of the board. Let's talk about him. New driver to the series this season. He just came out shooting like a cannon. He's in the pro category. He's winning races. Is he a championship contender just yet?
Definitely think so. I mean, only thing really holding him back, I believe, I'm trying to find where he is on the standings. He's currently Meyerbeck. He has half the amount of starts as the other drivers in the order, so he's pretty far down in the points. There are some drop weeks too that'll even it back out more towards the later end of the season. But definitely, as far as pace is concerned, he's definitely got what it takes. He's got to still battle with some other tough drivers, Jeff Roy, Zachary Hafner, Eric Mickey, and also Kirk Crum. Those guys looking to do well. Kirk Crum, though, not really fast on the qualifying times. I don't think he's been able to put in a solid time yet. 3.5 seconds off the mark.
So you see on the top of the scoring tower, the number 23, then it's the 233 of Jeff Roy, the 51, the 157, the 88 of Eric Mickey. How about that qualifying effort for Eric so far in the Bombshell Motorsports car? They've been qualifying, as a whole, they've been qualifying a lot better this season than seasons past, although the finishes haven't quite been there, even though they've been starting closer to the front.
Yeah, I'm just kind of scrolling through to see any other pros that are kind of more towards the back than we would expect.
Hoosier still hasn't laid down a time yet.
Yeah, the Hoosier out on the track putting out a time. Same thing with Carter Kundinger. Those guys also running out of time too. There's only 2.5 minutes left in the session. Wow,
he's close to the wall.
With the wall. And remember, you hit the wall, you get a 0x. Anything of this sort is going to invalidate your time. And I'm sure that's what a lot of these drivers have been struggling with in qualifying.
Brian Sohn in one of the Penguin RC simulation cars. You see him running a little bit wide at the exit of turn 4.
Yeah, also some major damage to the right side of the car. I think he might retire.
So, of course, Penguin RC Simulations has come on board to sponsor this series, and you can check out all their sim racing gear. They've got paddle shifter, those nice magnetic clicky ones. They've got those for sale. They've got components for the iFlag system, which we're running above us right now. Actually, when the race goes green, you'll see our faces glow green as the iFlag copies the flag system from iRacing and outputs it onto a nice LED matrix display, and you can see that in action in the behind the stream. The link to that is in the YouTube chat of the full stream right now, so make sure you head over to Penguin RC's website. The link is in the video description for that. Johnny Bell, the 72. This is a driver that we've seen here in the past, but has returned. At least I believe he's been here in the past. That name is vaguely familiar, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think definitely one of the early seasons when he first started broadcasting in general. I think he was around there. Well, I'll try to double check that here.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So this course this evening is 17 turns, and we've got about 8 of them before the long back straightaway area here, Fane. And turn 5, this is one of those extremely fast high downforce corners. Then you get to turn 6 and 7 where you head over towards the flower bed, and then turn number 8 is where you exit back onto the NASCAR oval. Then the back straightaway chicane, that corner is turn 11 and 12. Then 13 and 14. As well as 15 all through the NASCAR section. The final corner is turn 16 and 17 to finish out the lap.
Indeed, he is a returning driver. Last time I had him starting in SCRS was in September or the fall of 2018. So it's been a while. It's been over a year and a half since we've seen him on SimTV, so nice to have him back here.
So drivers finishing up their qualifying efforts, and it looks like the 39 of DeCouture has finally gotten a lap time in, and it puts him 4th best, so jumped up. And again, you look at the Pro-Am category, this is just like last week at Sebring. perfectly aligned. The 7 pros that are in this field tonight, all top 7 right now.
And they're not set to be that way at all. You're going to be gridding where you're qualifying in class splits. You're not going to be gridding by class for this race. So everyone pretty much lining up on top of the thing and just kind of showing how well they have the pros sorted out from the Ams.
Yeah, again, the pro-am split isn't done by any sort of
in-game.
Well, it's not done. What's the word I'm looking for? It's not done by any sort of criteria.
Oh,
the administrators decided on a case-by-case basis who belongs in pro and who belongs in am, and I don't think they made a single mistake.
No, yeah,
it is perfect how they have the class selected, and we've seen that as last week at Sebring as well. The pros constantly qualifying ahead of the AMs, and that just means that they did a really good job picking who's good and who stays in the AM category for the season.
Yeah, and all 7 pro drivers are going to be starting to the front, as we were talking about here. It'll be Christian Oss, that'll be the first AM driver leading the rest of the grid.
So heading down to the racetrack here to get gridded up for our first of 3 races tonight. It'll be about 12 minutes and 12 laps, 15 minutes. And we'll roll through our starting lineup. We'll have a lap of pacing to do here, but on the front row this evening, it'll be Caden Bin in the number 23, Jeff Roy in the 233 on the outside in second place as they're going to take the run down to turn number 1.
And then moving on back to row number 2, we got Zachary Hefner in the 51 lining up in third. Next to him in fourth will be the 39, Jonathan DeCousier.
In row number 3, starting in 5th place tonight, will be Kurt Crum, the current points leader by 8 over Paul Darling, Eric Mickey in the 88 Bombshell Motorsports car. He'll roll out in 6th place tonight.
And moving on back, our last pro driver in the field, Carter Cunningham, will be starting in the 2 car in 7th and lining up next to him in 8th. First AM driver, as we were saying, Christian Oss in the 157.
9th place, Andrew Mickey rolls off in the number 86 on the inside of row number 5. And Odise Adams in the number 22 in 10th place tonight. His first start in the series. We'll see how he fares tonight.
Moving on back to row 6 and 11th, we find the 13 Teague Algae, and he's going to be lining up next to Peter Vostrel in the 404 in 12th.
In 13th place, Brian Shabelski. He currently sits 9th in the standings. He'll start alongside Drew Lidke in the number 21 in 14th tonight.
Moving on back in 15th, you find the 03 Brian Sohn, and he's going to be lining up next to the 27 of Jonathan Rodriguez in 16th.
In 17th place this evening, it'll be Johnny Bell making his return to SimTV for the first time since the fall of 2018. Jim Benson, first time ever on SimTV and in SCRS Ferrari Challenge back in row number 9 tonight.
Back in 19, you find Jerry Newmaster in the 000 car, and then next to him in 20th, rounding out your top 20, is going to be Robert Haynes in the 125.
In the 013, Brennan Blackford in 21st, and Thomas Cooper in the 584. He rolls off 22nd tonight. One more row of drivers, JD Snyder, and Liam Park did not take the grid this evening, Finian, so he'll either start from the pits or not start at all as we head down into the infield section here at the Roval, Finian. Talk to me about lap number 1. What's your goal? Where do you avoid carnage, or is there a way to avoid carnage?
As far as, it's kind of tough to avoid carnage around here. You can see the infield. It's very much like a street course for the first part of this lap in the infield section. The wall's right up next to you, drivers, especially through turns 1, 2, and even for a little bit of 3. So if there's any incident there, it's going to be extremely hard to avoid. These guys just got to be on their toes.
Short straightaway, then another run up to turn number 5, a very fast right-hand corner. There's a big, tall curve on the inside. You do not want to get yourself up onto that. Then you're going to head through turns 6 and 7, a right and then a left, and you're going to get right up against that concrete wall. You see Jeff Royan doing now. Swing back to the driver's left for the run down to the bottom of the hill, up to the crest. That's turn number 7, and then the return to the racetrack is turn number 8 at the Roval exit, and they're going to aim for the end of that wall and hope that the understeer pulls you away from it as you clip that apex.
Yep, then up onto the oval section, and guys are going to have a field day with this part of the track, trying to get a draft from one another, and they're going to be trying to build up a run, build up a pass, especially heading into the backstretch chicane.
Yeah, turns 9 and 10 are what you would typically call NASCAR 1 and 2, and then onto the back straightaway where that long run down brings you to a very tight chicane that we've been talking about since the start of the broadcast. See at the bottom left of your screen, Finian, probably one of your better passing zones on entry. Once you get to it, though, you better be willing to give the driver next to you a whole lot of space because it's going to get tight and tight real fast as you exit and head towards NASCAR 3 and 4.
Yeah, and you got to be careful through there, too. You don't want to be too aggressive, otherwise you can find yourself sending it into the corner, and if you send it in too hot, you can find yourself either getting a corner cut or go falling over one of those turtle shells.
Into the back straightaway chicane, up and over the curbs, and drivers kind of getting a dry run through here, testing the waters. And will slow and steady win the race tonight, or is it going to be the drivers at the front of the field that get it done? Can they avoid trouble? 3 races tonight for SCRS Ferrari Challenge round number 5. Next week we'll be heading to Alton Park, over across the pond, to our last racetrack in America for a little while. As we make our way down towards the final 2 corners, we'll head to Silverstone the following week, and then Catalunya the week after that on the 9th of April.
European stretch heading up the last race in America here. What better place to do it than the Roval?
Final corners, and the green flag flies. We are racing for SCRS Ferrari Challenge round number 5 from the Charlotte Roval as we head towards the start-finish line. Into turn number 1, teammates up and over the curbs through the first corner. So far, so good. No, there we go. We got some trouble. I heard some trouble. Wall contact, and it is Teague Algae in the 13 car stopped and going to pull himself off the wall, but already in big trouble. Caden Bin away and free right ahead of Jeff Roy and Hefner, DeGuger, Mickey, your top 5 as we head into turn 5.
Yeah, it looks like no other major incidents besides what happened with Teague Algae, and he's going to drop down the order quite a bit, and he's going to have to get back on it and try to catch back up.
And Brandon Blackford in the 0-1-3. He's going to loop it at the exit of turn 6, and around he goes.
Yeah, cold tires for these guys. Going to take a little bit before they get warmed up to temp. Meanwhile, Caden leading everyone else onto the oval. Royan, though, however, not letting that 23 out of the sights.
Caden Bin, the New Yorker, in the number 23, leads the way from pole into the chicane for the first time.
Whoa!
Oh, car up sideways. That was I think that was
Kundinger
in the number 2. Thank you. And he nailed those curbs. What's the concern about the suspension on that car?
Quite a bit, especially how much air he got out of it. We'll have to see. The car looks fine, at least on the top part of it. Visuals that we can see. I'm not sure how it is underneath, though.
Stringing our way through the chicane for the first time. And other than the 2 spins that we had, no other major incidents to report. And a healthy stream of race cars. They survived the first lap of the Roval. They got to survive a whole lot more than that, though. 13 minutes and 25 seconds remaining as we head down through 3 and 4.
All the pro drivers heading there, and there you see Christian Oates followed by Andrew Mickey. Whoa, there's the 22.
Adams Jr. spun around to the inside of turn 4, and he's going to drop down the order. And again, first time racing these cars with this group of drivers, so getting used to not only perhaps the car, but also the drivers he's around. And he's got to pass a whole lot more of them tonight.
Yeah, it was unfortunate he's running 3rd in the M category, and now he's going to drop way down the order in 19th at the moment.
Front of the field, here comes a Roy on the back of Caden Bin, backing off.
Yeah, I think Roy knows what he needs to do here. He's going to try to isolate himself and Bin so they can have it amongst themselves for the race win. I don't think he wants Hefner joining this battle.
Didn't get a very fast run into the chicane. Meanwhile, behind them, Jonathan Rodriguez and Johnny Bell in that 72. Contact, and around goes the 27 into the wall. Big damage. Oh, there's more trouble.
Mickey was spun out. Oh, and Oates was involved as well. Oates was leading the M field, so the top 3 in the M category all having issues on this lap.
I have a feeling that there was some contact here. Here is the look.
Oh, yeah.
Well, trying to get a look at it. I don't exactly know why we don't have the replay screen, but here is another look at it. Around they went.
Yeah, it looks like Mickey turned in a little bit later probably than Oates would have thought. Didn't work out good for him.
And Algae serving his slowdown here, and he's had a bad night, already going worse.
Oh, and he's still struggling.
Oh, and around he goes again. He just continues to spin.
Yeah, that car is definitely hurting. It's even the front end damage too. He was struggling on turn, and the car looked like it was ready to turn around. He turned it in a little bit more, and around she went.
You see the 5th place car go on by on the other side of the wall. That's Eric Mickey in the number 88.
Yeah, up ahead of him is a trio of the Turn Sim Racing Tools cars, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
And continue to battle for the lead here as Arroyan puts pressure on Bin, but unable to do anything with them for now, so still tucked in behind. And where's the best place pass around here? We talked about the back straightaway chicane. What about the front straight one?
The front straight one, I think, is definitely a solid place pass, but you don't have to have a really solid run, and you have to pretty much send it into the corner. It's pretty difficult to pull off, but especially late in the race, we might see guys trying to utilize that.
JD Snyder has returned to pit lane with some fairly significant damage here, and this is on the exit.
Oh yeah, he was already sliding out of the infield section.
I'm working on fixing the problem with our replay screen. There we go. So he went for a bit of a slide at the exit of turn 7. Just got on the inside curb, and that might be.
Yeah, he was loose.
Grass on the
he
tires
was loose to this entire section, and finally went around here.
Yeah, did some landscaping.
the trapper's not going to be too happy with that.
Probably
Gotta
not.
replant all the shrubs.
Royan beginning to lose some touch with Bin. It's a 7/10 of a second lead now.
Been going really close to those tire barriers on exit.
Have to. Jim Benson's around. Oh, big damage on that car as well.
Out of that cover gone and spun around in not the best place to say the least.
Oh, he's gonna have to wait for another car to come on by.
Yeah, you can see him trying to.
Oh man, he just hammered the wall.
I think he was trying to, spin the rear tires. Can't really do that. And here with traction control, gonna get on the curbs. Oh, hard on the wall.
Yeah, you got to watch those curbs. They're pretty slick with paint on them, and you can certainly loop your car around if you're not careful over those curbs, especially with the new tire model, which we've talked about in the past couple weeks, has been a big adjustment to these race cars as we make our way through the chicane on the back straightaway.
Yeah, you're looking now with Shavelski, and he's now leading the M category. Then it's Vostra, Lidke, Sohn, and Johnny Bell, your top 5 for those drivers. You can see the 3 cars riding behind Shavelski as he's leading this field.
So timing and scoring, I'm not sure if this is heat related or not. It should be showing the time. It's showing the laps remaining. So there is 9 minutes and 30 seconds left in this race, not 16 laps. It usually fixes itself, but all sorts of weird gremlins tonight.
Yeah, I don't know.
The server had trouble going up, then ATV was having issues, and who knows.
What else coming in then?
Jonathan Rodriguez
those are a
took
lot
a
of
spill.
cones.
That's also turn 7. And bowled over a whole bunch
Yeah, all the
of
cones.
That is a strike. There's T. Galchi, or no, Christian Ost rather. He spun in the background.
Oh, man.
So the Roval has not been kind to very many people tonight.
No, it never usually is. So this race is almost always marked by some sort of attrition.
First and second, closing back in.
Yeah, Rowan gets back up. We're going to get a little bit of wall. Not really going to matter a whole lot.
That was
Just grazing it.
He caught it pretty good there. And behind him, Peter Vostrel in 9th place. One of the Penguin RC Simulations cars. Then Drew Lidke in 10th place. One of the AM drivers that has been so talented in all the seasons past here, Finian. And taking a look at the standings this season, I'm not exactly sure where Lidke sits. He currently sits in 12th place in the standings. So about P5 in the AM standings, that would mean, roughly.
Yeah, behind a few drivers in the M category, so he's, with a solid finish like this, it'll help put him back up, but he's really trying to chase, especially Javelski, who's actually ahead of him in the standings and ahead of him in this race. So that's really his teammate he's just trying to fight. You see T. Galgi up the road, who's a lap down.
Kurt Crum in 7th place, and I can't say that this is a super impressive run for the 87. Started in 5th, and he's dropped down to see his teammate go wide. Eric Mickey's going to end up cutting turn 7. He'll spill out some cones onto the racetrack for other drivers to deal with.
Not been a good run for the Bombshell guys.
Yeah, I was going to say, Kurt Crum is typically one of those top 3, top 4 drivers struggling tonight, it looks like.
And same thing with Eric Mickey, too. Eric Mickey, some courses, he's really fast and not the leader in some cases. So both these guys struggling tonight. Hopefully they can turn around in race number 2 with race 1. Looks like they're going to end up finishing 6th and 7th.
7 minutes and 15 seconds left in race number 1. Jim Benson returning to the course after his crash at the exit at turn 4, so he'll continue.
Alright, looking in the AM category now, one of the closer battles on the track. A lot of the other drivers spread out by a decent degree.
Yeah, our lead hasn't really devolved into much more than a half a second lead. It's still a Royan chasing Bin at the moment, so something still could develop here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard, though. Ryan has enough pace to keep with Ben. I don't think he's got enough pace to pass him. And I think that's going to be the key difference between these two guys. I don't think Ryan, though, is going to be too upset with getting a 2nd place finish, and we see him throw it really hard in the section, made up some time.
Sun setting behind the grandstands here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and the crowds are on tonight. I don't remember turning them back on ever.
Fans want to show up to see a race.
No coronavirus in Charlotte, North Carolina tonight.
I don't think the World Health Organization is gonna, or the CDC is going to be happy with that. But.
Probably not. I'm not thinking that'll be the case. Into the braking zone again, and you can make up 2 to 3 tenths just by being more aggressive.
You can also lose 2 to 3 tenths if you're being too cautious. So
right.
It's a high risk, high reward.
Yeah, so that's the thing I'm worried about. Is a Royan right now pushing 100%, or is he just being careful?
I don't think so. I don't think there's really any point in pushing. You're going to throw away a really solid 2nd place finish.
Thomas Cooper just hit pit lane in the number 584, so he had some damage, potentially a meatball that he had to get repaired. And Otis will follow him down as well. Meanwhile, for the top spot still, 0.4 of a second. Bit of a weird hop over the turn 1 curb for Bin, and Royan still maintains a 0.4 of a second gap.
Yeah, I was concerned if we're not really concerned. I thought the 3rd and 4th place guys, Hefner and DeKucher would catch back up to these guys, but they now put around a 3-second gap.
between themselves and Hefner and Kucher.
Host returns to the racetrack, as does Cooper. And they're going to race out of pit road.
Definitely enough room for that, at least in the middle part of that exit to kind of race side by side, but Host is going to lead them out back onto the track.
Remember, we're going to invert the field for the start of race 2, so Caden Ben, if he completes this race in the lead, he'll start dead last. We've only had one official retirement so far. It's J.D. Snyder in the 32. Rodriguez and Adams Jr. off track. Everybody else still out competing. The last driver running, Jim Benson, in the number 24.
Although, like, these guys run out of that chicane, almost hitting the wall, but just keeping it off.
You know, the funny thing is there's a lot of racetracks that have track features like that, where you clip a curb and then you go real close to a wall and exit. I'm thinking Sonoma Cup course turn 4.
Montreal.
And Montreal, same thing. But you know, the funny thing is I've always been more afraid of the curbs than I am of the wall. I feel like the curbs, typically, I mean, usually if you hit the wall, you're hitting it pretty square. If you hit a curb wrong, you're jacking up your steering and your suspension, which I would agree are much more important than bodywork. So, you know, these drivers cutting it pretty close to the wall, but that's not what they're focused on. They're focused on not hammering the fragile suspension on the curb. See Caden Ben run a little wide at the exit of turn 4. Here's a look at that. It's so easy to do this. And here's a look from up above. He's just going to clip the grass here. And we've seen drivers clip it and go off course too. So it's you don't want to be on the grass. You want to be in the black stuff tonight.
It is AstroTurf, so...
No, it's not AstroTurf there. It's AstroTurf on the front straightaway. Yep.
Oh.
The only AstroTurf is on the front straight. Take a look down on the right-hand side of the screen.
Oh, yeah.
That is AstroTurf there, so it drives like a lot like asphalt in many ways. The grass everywhere else is very slippery, and I do not recommend driving on it. So, if you were thinking about it, don't. So 3 minutes and 38 seconds remaining. How about for third place teammates Hefner and DeCouger putting up a fight?
Yeah, it looks like DeCouger just closed into Hefner now. I'm curious if we could see an exchange between these two drivers.
Yeah, last time by for DeCouger is a 1:17.2, which was a full 0.3 quicker than Hefner's 1:17.5. So I think we're going to have a battle for podium position here shortly.
In behind them, Kurt Crum trying to close back up to Carter Kundinger. That's for the 5th place spot. There you see Kurt Crum and Carter Kundinger just up the road. You see him right there entering turn 1.
And Kundinger again has had last week was abysmal for him, and it was not the way that he wanted things to turn out. So
yeah, this is going significantly better for him this week.
And it's important that things do go good for him because he's 5th in the standings, and he could be a championship contender if the leaders have a couple bad things go wrong. We know Paul Darling is absent tonight; he's going to tumble down the standings, so you got to take advantage of that. And Kundinger, a 5th place isn't really where he needs to be tonight, but this will be a solid run for race 2 and race 3.
Still looking at our Kurt Crum, but Crum catching back up to the 2 car. It's closing about a few tenths of a lap.
Peter Vostrol and Drew Lidke. Here's a fight. This is turn number 7. Lidke in 10th place and Vostrol in 9th. Bit of a shallow entry to turn 8 for Lidke, though, so he'll give up a bit of time onto the straight.
Yeah, Vostrol going to take advantage of that and drive away just a little bit to try to catch up to Brian Chapelski in 8th.
2 minutes left. We'll have 2 laps to go at the start-finish line this time through. Braking zone. See Lidke close up a little bit on entry, but he's going to lose some on exit. And Vostrol obviously prioritizing the final corner on that chicane, which is probably the better way to run it.
Yeah, and Vostrol doing really well in the exits. I think that's where he's been gaining a lot of time on Lidke and behind him.
It's a good run for Vostrol. And teammate Brian Sohn in 11th. They've had some trouble in recent weeks, so just the fact that they're running inside the top 12 is an accomplishment. I think they'll have a good night tonight if they can continue running like this.
Yeah, so dropping out a little bit from this battle. There's all 4 cars involved in the mix. He's dropped a little bit back, 2.5 seconds. You see lap cars coming through the picture there, and the lights have turned on.
And that is Thomas Cooper and T. Gallingy. This is for position. This is for 17th place on track. And you see the LEDs glowing atop the driver door. Everyone choosing blue tonight. I'm not sure. Is that set by the setup?
It's to the default.
That would be why. Yeah. That's actually kind of convenient because all our graphics are blue and everything. That always works out nicely. The next time by will be white flag. Where's Caden Ben? He's working through NASCAR 3 and 4. It's half a second for Jeff Roy, and I'm just not thinking he's got quite enough pace for this.
No, yeah, I don't think he's going to force the issue here. He might. Hey, look at you, went in a little bit hard there, maybe trying to make up some sort of time. White flag in the air for these drivers. This will be the final lap.
One more time around. 40 seconds left in this race. And Pro driver still occupying all 7 positions, and this just goes to show you, Finny, have a look at the gaps. The lowest pro driver is 18 seconds back from the lead. The first AM driver is almost 30 seconds back from the lead. So again, we talked about before the race how good the class split was. It's pretty much perfect.
They haven't done anything to the drivers artificially to induce. This is all purely on the skill of the drivers themselves. Speaking of which, Royan trying to catch back up to Caden Bin here. He's only got the oval section left to work with. I don't think he's going to make it happen, but again, another solid finish from both these drivers.
Yeah, this will be a great run for them. They're going to have to start tail of the field. Thomas Cooper has just gone around for a loop down in turn number 1, so he'll leave a spot for Algie. Final time for the chicane, and Royan closes. He's within a couple tenths, 3 car lengths here, but he's only have one more opportunity. I think that opportunity is fleeting.
Yeah, you need to be right up on the bumper of the driver you're chasing if you want to make a move onto the front stretch chicane. He's way too far behind.
Caden Bin in winning fashion once again in SCRS Ferrari Challenge. Race number 1 of the night will go to the number 23, Jeff Royan. Close, but no cigar. 2nd place for him, and Hefner and DeCouger 3rd and 4th. Oh, they got red and yellow on their car.
Yeah, you can customize. You have to set it up properly. As you see here, now Carter Cunder just going to defend the spot from Kurt Crum, who's right in behind. It'll be Eric Mickey in 7th and looking at the battle for 8th now between Chabelski and Peter Bostrol.
And final time through the chicane for Chabelski in P8. And Bostrol in 9th. Drew Lidke will grab a 10th place finish. So now, this is where the unknown begins. This is the first time we're running this heat race format, so the results are here for you. But we're going to be running, of course, the heat race format, so no break in between the races. We're going to head straight into it as soon as this race completes here. And hopefully we get a chance to roll through the results, because these don't linger. As soon as the session changes over to the next event, we lose these.
Still waiting on a few more drivers to finish up their race, so we should have this for at least about 20-30 seconds more. But yeah, with a solid win for Caden Bin, I'm curious to see if he can try to sweep the night here, as it looks like everyone's finished for race number 1 here. We're going to move on into uncharted territory, arguably, as we set the order for race 2.
So, race number 2 tonight, let's line them up, and it's Drew Lidke going to be on pole. Did he crash out, or did I miss something? Oh no, I'm thinking this is not working the way that we wanted it to. Way that we're all ordered up right now. How would that have gridded? I'm trying to figure out what the also, what is with the, see on the right side of the screen?
Oh yeah,
there's 2 curbs that are that's supposed to be there?
Probably not.
How did that get there accidentally is my question.
I'm trying to still figure out how on earth they gridded these guys.
Yeah, I mean, not by lap time. It's
been starting in 10th. Oh, did it invert the top 10?
Oh, that's exactly what it did.
Yeah.
Inverted the top 10. Maybe that was intended, but my understanding was that it'd be everybody, but
I don't know.
Well, field rolling off for race 2. Let's do this a lot quicker, though. I'm a fan of that.
Yeah. I was going to say, I have a shot at finishing this before I have to leave.
So we talked about the curbs a lot. Look how gnarly the red and white ones are. Yeah. You see how tall, how much incline they are. You drop off, and that's a sharp edge when you drop off the tire. So not only the blue curbs, but when you nail these things, you know, you're really putting a lot of load on the cars in the suspension and the drivetrain and everything when you jump over those things. So, you know, maybe you use them sparingly, as we saw the leaders doing. That's probably the way to run. And everyone heating up their tires.
Yeah, I think they know what's up, especially here running, pretty much starting right where we left off as far as the time in the sim is concerned. So it's going to be cooler than it was than when we started race number 1. So it's going to have to build up a little bit more heat in the tires.
Starting grid on the left-hand side of your screen. And it's Lidke, Vostrel, Chabelski, Mickey, Crum, your top 5. Then Kundinger, DeCouger, Hefner, Royan, and Bin, the rest of your top 10.
I almost feel, in a way, this might be for the better. Be slightly less chaotic.
Oh, I agree. That's whether or not that was really the intended situation. I'm not sure about that. So let's take a look at the track conditions, because we haven't really done that yet tonight. Pretty cool out there, relatively grippy, but we have seen drivers struggling on those cold tires. That's why they're warming them up so aggressively. As the night progresses, I mean, do you think it'll get better, or do you think it's going to be roughly the same all night?
I think it's going to be, you know, roughly the same all night. It's looking to be as cool as it's going to get. I think, if anything, it might be affected by some more rubber being on the track, although since we didn't reset the session, there still is quite a bit of rubber on the racing surface. So for the most part, I don't think it's going to change a whole lot from at least the start of this race.
Well, it hasn't been a good night to the new drivers. Jim Benson going to be starting in 19th. Adams Jr. in 21st. Terry Newmaster and Robert Haynes will be 13th and 14th, so they didn't have a horrible race one, but still some work to do. This is trial by fire. To start your first race in a series at a track this challenging, that is certainly brave at the very least. Back straightaway chicane where we had surprisingly few incidents. I know there was 2 or 3 down there, but typically that was pretty much where everybody crashed before.
I think more so the first few turns in the infield section was where and the exit was where most of the drivers made their mistakes tonight.
Yeah, which is it's nice to see a bit of a better split where accidents happen. Because before you could just set up a camera in the back straightaway and watch everybody crash one by one. Every single lap we did lose 2 or 3 drivers, but a little bit more under control this time. So time again, 15 minutes. Lidke, Vostrel, Shabelski, Mickey Crum, your top 5. We'll see if they can hang on and beat some of the pro drivers. Final corner this time, waiting for the green flag to drop. Here we go. SCRS Ferrari Challenge, round 5, race 2. Green flag in the air, 15 minutes on the board tonight. So far, so good as we work our way down towards turn 3 and 4. Everybody tiptoeing on cold tires. Car on a line. That is Brian Shabelski going to let one of the bombshell cars on by. As everyone exits turn 4 and makes a run down to turn 5. Pass for position looked like it was trying to take place. That's DeCouger on Shabelski, and he's going to sneak up the inside in turn number 6.
Yeah, now gonna have a run on the outside, gonna clear Shabelski as he makes the pass here, as everyone's trying to gain as many spots as possible. As drivers still move up to the order. Christian Ost, someone just got a piece of the wall coming back into the oval, and I heard a spin.
There's Adams Jr. and Jonathan Rodriguez involved in a collision as we head down to the chicane for the first time. Vostrel was really aggressive on the brakes.
Yeah, I heard his exit. Now here comes Eric Mickey and Kurt Crum. This is their chance to turn a mediocre night into a really good night here. They're currently running 3rd and 4th.
Brendan Blackford spun around right in the middle of the chicane, and he's brought Robert Haynes with him. Yeah. So those 2 cars have an accident, as does Thomas Cooper at the exit. That's a hard impact that he's had. How did this happen? Oh, man.
Oh, and got another driver as well.
Back again as they entered the corner. Let's see if we can also catch the incident behind him. Blackford, he just tried to get back on course, and he got just kind of straddled on the curbs. He didn't really crash. And then right here, oh man, that's a bad place to have a crash.
Yeah. A lot of carnage on lap 1 of race 2 than we saw in race 1.
Brian Blackford got into fast repair. He's back out on track. Meanwhile, how about 10th place? Christian Ost and Johnny Bell fighting for position, the 157 and the 72.
Yeah, not much of a fight though, as Ost goes flying on past Johnny Bell.
Second place being contested. Here comes Eric Mickey up to P2. This is a great opportunity, and Kurt Crum. Not a great race 1, so trying to make up for it, and he'll dive to the inside of Vostrel as well.
I think Vostrel's not going to put up too much of a fight here. I think he knows his battles here. Gonna let the 2 pro drivers go on by, and here comes DeCouger now with Hefner and Roy behind him.
Gotta be careful when you let one driver by. That's gonna show everyone behind that you're just letting people through. So you gotta get defensive and start racing for yourself. Teague Algie has had trouble in the chicane.
Trying to get that car looped around, doing a great job of doing so. Now back on his merry way.
Yeah, he just was in there too hot, got up over the edge of the curb and just spun out, so no harm, no foul. He will continue his night. As we head to 4th place, here comes DeCouger up the inside, he's got it. And teammate Hefner with a big run, where's he gonna go?
Yeah, Hefner also gonna be expecting...
Here he comes.
Yep, and Vostrel is gonna move himself out of the way, doesn't want to deal with this.
And Jeff Arroyan finished 2nd in race 1 on the charge in race 2, up to the rear bumper of Vostrel.
We're going to be stuck in behind Vostrel as the rest of his teammates drive off away.
These races are short enough where you don't really have time to play around. If you want to get by somebody, you got to kind of force the issue. We'll see if Arroyan will have a run here. I think he will, and he's going to dive up the inside. And Vostrel's not fighting this. I think he knows that it's futile to fight it. and that's commendable in one way, but another way, I mean, it's hard to pass. If he was going defensive, he would certainly be holding these drivers up and be able to maintain a higher position.
Yeah, I think he doesn't want to deal with potentially getting hit from behind, so he's going to let him on by. He run his own race here. He's got Brian Sohn, his teammate, and also Shabelski in behind him.
Whoa, big slide for Stone at corner exit, the Penguin RC Simulations car. Behind him, Johnny Bell, and that is Andrew Mickey in the 86, Jaden Bin in the 23. This is the car that had contact with the 584 as he left the chicane earlier, so Bin's got some damage on the right front.
Also, it looks like Jim Benson, he's retired the car. Not sure what happened to him in the 24.
We'll go back in just a moment and see exactly what happened to him. Big damage again, and this is at the exit of turn 8. He's been really struggling with the traction control tonight. He's been caught up in this in 2 separate areas on the racetrack. So I think Benson's got some work to do for next week to figure out how the traction control works. And let me tell you, it's annoying. This traction control on GT3 cars is really strange to get used to because it cuts so much power and allows you so much slip that it's usually hard to recover once you start to slide.
It's kind of opposite in the way it should really work, at least in iRacing, but
it has improved.
Yeah, it has improved greatly.
Especially the Mercedes is a lot better than it used to be. Here's a battle for the lead. Eric Mickey and Drew Lidke fighting for the lead at the exit of the NASCAR turn 2 and a drag race down into the chicane now.
Lidke going to be a little bit shyer on the brakes, but is going to beat Mickey to the turn.
And ultra aggressive on the curbing, and he gained a lot of lead back. And look at this battle for a second. 5 cars in it now.
Mickey could not get the car launched. He got slowed down so much by Lidke, he's going to just immediately let Kurt Crum on by, it seems, his teammate.
Yeah,
so you have a go at it.
Yeah, Crum will go to second place, and it's 2 sets of teammates, a duo and a trio. And jumping up over the tops of the rumble strips. Now Kurt Crum is the one that who's gonna have to run down Lidke, and Lidke's got to run because that 87 is quick, and Lidke's got a 1 second gap. He's got to try to maintain it in 9 minutes.
Gonna be a tough thing to do. We'll see if we can pull it off.
Yeah, it's easier said than done for sure. Now it's down to 0.6 of a second. 4/10 gain for Crum in sector number 1.
I'm curious seeing what happens in behind with Eric, Mickey, DeCouger, Hefner, and Roy. He's holding those trio of cars up. I can't imagine those guys are going to be too tailor-patient.
Sector 23.5 for Lidke. It was a 23.0 for Kurt Crum. So the first sector went to Crum, and that's why he's been able to close in so much. And I'm thinking, well, he'll have the lead by the end of the lap here if he continues catching at this rate. Lidke goes defensive, now goes back to the racing line, and Crum closes on the brakes.
Ooh, Lidke a little bit hard in there. It's going to hurt his exit. He's going to go way out wide.
Yeah, here comes Crum with a big run. He's going to look up underneath, and the 21 does not have to give him space, so Kurt Crum is going to swing back to the right. If you go below the blue line there, all fair, but you cannot force your way back up onto the racetrack, and Crum chooses the right.
Pulling right in behind just a little bit to get enough of a slipstream to get a launch to the outside, but Lidke going to absolutely set it. He's going to miss
he's
the corner.
wide, and misses the corner. Lidke's going to have to serve a slowdown, and Kurt Crum has just been gifted the lead.
Yeah, we'll see where Lidke pops out in line. It looks like he's gonna pop out in the middle of the pros.
Tight. Here comes Hefner around the outside. Gonna take advantage of that. Now it's a bombshell battle for the lead. Crum, Mickey, and DeCouger is closing.
Battle of the teams here. The Term Sim Racing Tools guys fighting the Bombshell guys in first and second. This is gonna be interesting to see how this race turns out.
Whoa! Lidke out wide in the grass, slipping and sliding, and he's gonna gather it under control. But Arroyan goes through to fifth. So Lidke from first to sixth in half a lap. Robert Haynes leaving pit lane after his fast repair. So the up front, lots of drama. Oh no! There's a car around right in front of the leaders, and Crum's in it. Here comes the DeCouger up the inside. He's got the lead now.
Can't pull away for a second with these guys, and these are just an all-out brawl between the teams. Kurt Crum not done yet, trying to get a slipstream back on DeCouger, but DeCouger looking like he can run away with this with Kurt Crum having some damage.
Oh, this is a cluster down into the chicane on the back straightaway, side-by-side contact. There goes DeCouger over the curbs. And Crum slows, he turns to 51. And big crash at the exit of the chicane.
Oh, Vostrel involved as well. It's a parking lot down there.
And carnage everywhere. And that was a chaotic half a lap if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, it was. And still not done yet. Look how many cars are in this set.
DeCouger's got a 2.5 second lead in a race down into the chicane. Kundinger on the brakes. He goes through Vostrel.
Very aggressive line through the chicane. Looks like he's all right. Didn't get a slowdown for that.
Eric Mickey got the short end of the stick.
Yeah, he did.
All the way back in 16th place. And certainly the biggest loser on that exchange. Zachary Hefner back to 11th.
He was the car that was turned around.
Whoa!
Back there. Oh,
more
still
trouble.
more carnage.
Vostrel.
Vostrel in the tire barriers. Trying to get the car fired back on the way. No, it looks like he's gonna retire.
And this was contact from Caden Binge. Sailed in there and cleared him out. And that'll be an interesting one to look back later, see what the race control says about that. Did he turn in? No, I think that's definitely on Caden. And puts the 404 in the wall. So this race, what started off very calm, has quickly devolved into a chaotic mess.
Yeah, I would love to take a look back at what happened.
We will go back at the end of the race here. I'm not sure if we're going to have time. We should probably do that now, shouldn't we?
Yeah, I was going to say now it might as well be a good time, considering the lead's kind of sorted out.
Is it sorted out? Is that what we would call it?
Considering what it was earlier, yeah.
Okay, so let's go back and see exactly how this all started. It was a driver that had spun in front of the leaders. I'm trying to...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one of the...
It might be Benson or Haynes Cooper, one of those guys.
One of those. And then they all get onto the back straightaway. And it's just a mad rush.
Yeah, and Gertrude had some damage to his car too. So I think he knew that he needed to make the pass now, otherwise he's going to lose the lead completely. Makes a move to the outside.
Yeah, and then on the outside he's going to kind of push Hoosier up over the curbs, and right here he's going to tag the teammate. And that's where it all goes wrong. You see Vostrel trying to cut through there. He ended up getting a piece of it at the end. But what a mess there for about a half a lap. But they've got it somewhat sorted. Hefner is leaving pit lane after getting his car repaired.
Not going to be a terribly great race for the 51. Going to end up running somewhere around midfield, depending on how the running before the feature's going to sort out. I have no idea how that's going to play out.
Yeah, we don't know. But Jonathan DeCouger has inherited the lead. He's now led 2 laps. He's got 4 minutes and 50 seconds left to hang on to it. Jeff Arroyan was running pretty much equal lap times last time through, but having a teammate up front is certainly going to make you race a little bit nicer. So I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of carnage left in this race. But if Crum gets back up there, then the race is on.
I don't think Crum's going to be able to get back up there. He hit the right side wall and got even more damage. You see in the left rear to that car as well. So his car is definitely hurting for this race. I think he's not really going to improve. He ran slower lap times than the drivers last time by. This time by, even slower.
Yeah, 1:18.0, which is significantly slower than a full second slower than Caden Bin right behind. A couple places behind him. Carter Kundinger immediately behind, 9/10 faster than him. Peter Vostrel returning to the racetrack. His car is repaired.
For the most part, it looks like this shouldn't really change. Roy making some time on DeCouger, but I don't think he's got enough time to catch back up to him. You see Kurt Crum. You see how tight the car is for the infield section. That car not really turning.
Ryan Sohn having a really solid race up to 6th from starting 11th.
He's got Drew Litkey right in behind him, and then Andrew Mickey in behind him.
Litkey's gone backwards. Andrew Mickey has gone forward 15th to 8th for the 86 bombshell car. Things going the right way for him right now.
Three and a half minutes remaining in this race.
Oh, a little bit of a scrap up ahead. I think it was Caden Bin that was out of line.
Trying to catch up to Carter Kundinger. He's 2 seconds in behind, but again, I think it's the same situation with the Roy. Not enough time left on the clock. So we're going to try.
Jonathan DeCouger should have 2 laps to go next time by. He is the current leader. This is race 2 of 3 tonight, 15 minutes races
okay, I think
each.
Back what I said on Roy, he might actually catch up to DeCouger. DeCouger 117.2 last lap of Roy, 116.7. That's a significant difference. That's almost 5/10 faster.
That was his best lap of the race as well. 104.87 average to 104.23 average. DeCouger also just ran his best lap, Finney, but that's not going to be enough. Arroyan is coming and coming fast.
He's charging him. It's going to be tough to pass, but at the rate he's going, he should catch up to him by the white flag lap and then have that lap to make a pass. So, see, Ryan's got what it takes, and I'm sure he's not going to want to finish second place in a row.
Well, either way, he should be on pole for race 3 with the runs that he's had. But DeCouger running from his teammate right now, and Arroyan just has had unreal pace in recent weeks.
He's been charging. He's charged into the entry of the chicane. Looks like he gained overall.
I think he's found some familiarity with the ABS and traction control, which a lot of drivers have not on this new tire model. He seems very comfortable in that race car and able to push it without going over the limit, which a lot of drivers have been struggling with. Looking at how hard he's going to charge this corner.
Yeah, that car looks dialed in with this car here. Across the line, it shows 117.3 for DeCouger, 116.7 for Arroyan, so still faster by quite a bit. Actually, Arroyan even went faster too than his previous fast lap.
Yeah, 16.7 is,
Yeah,
is
look
pretty quick.
Look how much better his line is than Decuder. Hitting his apex is a lot better.
Through 5, able to just get right down to that apex, and then through turn 6 now, right up against that concrete wall, 0.6 of a second. It's about 8 car lengths. And Decuder trying to run away. Third place, Kurt Crum is 4.3 back. Then Carter Kundinger, Caden Bin, Sohn, Lidke, Mickey, Shabalski, and Ost, the rest of your top 10.
Definitely don't want to pull away from this leading battle. It's going to be the close battle on the track. Does look like Royan's lost a little bit of time, though.
Yeah, slightly at the exit of NASCAR 2, but he gained some of it back in the chicane. Odis Adams and, ooh, this is battle for 13th place. This is for position. Algie and Hefner all together. Algie runs wide.
Hefner's going to easily get the spot from that. Oh, I said easily. It was a little bit tight there through, but Hefner going to work his way on by. Adams Jr. right ahead of Hefner. Hefner closing in quite a bit on the oval.
He's got a heck of a run here. He's probably going to choose a line to take a dive into the chicane. Here he comes up the inside, way late on the brakes. Brake rotor's glowing. He completes the pass in an awkward jump over the curbing. But a pass complete. That was a well done executed move. Let's run on board with him for that.
That was terrifying. The line he took through there.
Woo. Let's watch this in slow motion as he jumps over this. This was a wild excursion here. White flag is in the air for our leader, but we'll take you there in a moment. Here's Hefner's excursion through the back straightaway chicane on passing the 22. Got the first apex, and he's going to come over back to the right here, Finian, and gets the blue turtle curb and 4 tires off the ground for a moment, skating. Entertaining battle. Up front, Decuder and Arroyan nose to tail, 0.3 of a second, 2 car lengths, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough.
Arroyan's got a bit of a run here, and Decuder, if he can get enough of a draft, might have at least a chance to send it to the inside of Decuder here. He's making up some time, and Decuder going defensive here.
Here we come, final corners in race number 2. Checkered flag waves. Decuder through the final corner, and he'll pick up. Oh, he's going to pull over to driver's right, and oh, Arroyan gets to the line first.
That was almost exactly like what Ferrari did at the Red Bull Ring many years ago with Barrichello and Shoemaker.
So definitely some strategy there. There's Brian Sohn, Drew Lidke. This is for 6th. And Sohn will get it. Lidke 7th, Mickey 8th, Shavelski 9th, Christian Ost in 10th. Hefner and Adams continue their run back to the checkers.
And Hefner able to get something back from this race. Looked like he was going to finish further down, but up to 13th. Not terrible, but definitely could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
For the 51.
So there's your unofficial results. You're going to be scrolling on through. But it was, of course, Jeff Arroyan that snuck away the victory at the last second. Teammate pulled over to let him by.
Yeah, I was going to say, it not really snuck away, more so they just handed it to him by his teammate there. So interesting strategy there between them. I'm curious as to necessarily why they did it. Obviously, I'm sure Arroyan's not going to argue with it, because I think, as you were saying, I think Arroyan should have been pole with 2 second-place finishes.
We're about to see if it matters. Here's lining up for the 3rd and final race of the night. A 15-minute warm-up here. I'm sure we'll probably get this advanced on through. Probably I'm trying to think of why this would be the case.
I don't know.
Well, this is all new to us, by the way. This whole.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You want to take this chance? Take a little bit of a break.
Yeah, we'll take a break for a couple minutes. We'll be back with the start of race number 3. Stay with us, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Would you like to have a career in racing, and if so, what would you like to do, Dale?
Well, I want to be a race car driver someday. It's all I've ever known, racing.
What did you want to be when you grew up? So many people live a life of what if. Go to school. Go to college. Get a 9-to-5. This is how we support our dreams. With a safety net. Because we're unsure about taking a leap of faith. Because we're afraid. As we grow, we cross things off our list of dreams. We cut them down. make them realistic. Having control of things is reassuring. But for some, the rush of being out of control is what gives them life. Some say racing cars is reckless. Maybe they're right. Out of bounds isn't just cheating, it's cheating death. Football fields made up in seconds. Decisions made in instants. For the people that climb behind the wheel of these cars, they're not driving it. They become part of it. It's an extension of the body. As a child, I looked up to these people, faces hidden by helmets. The less you saw of the driver, the more believable it became that they were, in fact, just part of the machine. It's easy to forget that inside the cockpit is someone just like us, but with the mindset that fear is a motivation, not a barrier. But the reality is, race car drivers are not like us. They never cross anything off their list of dreams. They just keep writing more. Daytona. Le Mans. Indianapolis. Monaco. Places that used to be just places, now international symbols of victory. To those that enjoy the spectacle of racing, the 2 feet of concrete and steel cables are a wall between us and them, between sitting in the grandstands and standing in victory lane. These same walls are a stark, immovable reminder that racing drivers put their lives on the line for the sake of the thrill and entertainment. Despite the risk, despite the heartbreak, despite the cost. There are some on the sidelines who are fascinated by the danger. They are fascinated by speed, fascinated by the undying desire to be just a little bit better. Their dreams erased by geography, finances, or the lack of a famous last name. There are some who once wished to be a race car driver, but aren't, because they didn't get the chance. And they thought they'd spend the rest of their lives watching their heroes on television, or from the other side of the fence. They thought it was impossible to climb into a race car, so they crossed it off their list. But it's not impossible. There is a ticket to the other side of the fence. For those who want it bad enough, this is your chance.
Welcome back live to Sim TV and SCRS Ferrari Challenge, round number 5 of 2020. We've had 2 races so far, each 15 minutes long, Finian, and both races have been pretty wild to say the least, especially race 2 as they exited the back straightaway chicane about midway through. There was a big pileup. Now it's time for the 3rd race of the evening, the final race, and the sun has set. How does that change things for the end of the night?
Definitely going to make things a lot cooler for these drives, and more also, I think in the infield, it's going to lead to some visibility problems. Obviously, these cars have headlights, so you can see some stuff, but it's going to be a little bit tough down there, especially when you're turning in. It's going to be a little bit blind for a few seconds, so get some light flashing on.
Yeah, very dark around the infield here, but headlights, thankfully. So, 15 minutes, and we're going to set the grid by the points accumulated from the first couple of races, so we'll see how that all pans out here shortly. Other notes, turn 1 has been surprisingly calm tonight, and I think we're due for a start crash this evening.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've seen some minor spins, guys scraping against each other, nothing too big, but yeah, I kind of agree with you. I feel like we are going to be due for something major here, especially because this race should have a full invert from what we've heard. So, tire fill is going to be inverted. This should be interesting. I think this is going to essentially be what we would normally have for race 2 entering here, and by that I mean a lot of chaos.
Well, we're going to find out what that's going to look like here shortly. Again, if you're interested in Sim TV, you can head over to www.simtv.com. Nope, simtvbroadcasting.com. That's the URL you want to go to. That link is in the description. Make sure you follow us on all our social media. We've got a bunch of really cool things coming up. And next Friday night, we're going to have a special race put on by the Washington, D.C. region SCCA. Next Friday night. Washington, D.C. region SCCA. That will be, Saturday? I don't know. I actually don't know when it is. I have no idea. Just keep your eye on our channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. You got 6 races a week right here on Sim TV. Don't miss it. Time to go racing. Here we go. Gridding up. Liam Park going to be on pole. JD Snyder in second. I have not seen Liam Park race tonight, so we're going to actually see if he grids.
Yeah, I was going to say, he was there in... Oh, wait, no. I don't think he will be because we haven't changed the server. I think he showed up earlier in the server, but I don't think he turned a lap. So I think it's just putting him there because he was the last place driver. So we'll see here. I think it might end up being Benson that starts on pole. We'll have to see here if Park does grid.
So we're gonna have about 20-something drivers. Let's roll through our starting lineup. I don't even know if this is gonna work. Will it? No, it will not. That's based on qualifying order. It's the one downside to having the heat format. So predictions here. Who wins this one?
I have honestly no idea.
That's not a prediction. Give me a prediction.
And
I don't know. It's not a prediction. Give me a prediction. Who wins? Thank you.
I think
For finally
actually, no, I scrapped no.
That's not okay.
Mickey.
You can't change your mind.
I didn't see Mickey. So Mickey's starting up in 8th. He's the highest pro driver.
Look at all. It's very satisfying to look at all the LED strips on all the windows. That's really neat.
A few of the guys that did actually color them, and yeah, this one. Still rolling off here.
Awkwardly. 88 of Eric Mickey. Not.
There you go.
That's the race gear. Reverse.
R for race.
R for race, right?
We're getting
And
there.
everyone awkwardly pulling off. It's pretty tricky to get used to that when this isn't typically the way you leave the grid here.
I'm still annoyed that they haven't done this for more trucks.
So the top, yeah, that looks really good. Pocono looks so good. The top 3 did not take the grid, so the pole sitter will actually be Peter Vostrel in the 404. And we're going to have 21 drivers for this 3rd and final race of the night. And Vostrel was pretty eager to move over and give other drivers the spots in race 1. I think he should race harder in race 3.
Yeah, I think we might see him be a little bit more coy when we see guys like Eric Mickey and some of the other pros. I think those are really the only guys he was pulling over for. Because I think he realizes, he's not directly racing them. Obviously, you're racing really for points overall, but I think he knows, obviously those guys, especially being pro drivers, quite a bit faster. So I think he knows how to fight his own battles. But definitely, I think going to be putting up a fight with Robert Haynes, Brent Blackford guys riding behind him, Thomas Cooper.
Yeah, slick-looking orange LED strip. That is a great-looking race car. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I didn't realize too. The bloom really makes these things look awesome.
Yeah, the bloom wasn't working for me for the longest time because there was an issue with iRacing where if you had sharpening turned on, the bloom didn't work, but I had that sort of.
I remember you could see the actual LEDs before because when it was just kind of like a texture sort of thing, but now it has that glow. It looks so nice.
Yeah, I'm glad I got the settings worked out. I'm also was about to make a big GPU upgrade in the coming weeks, so that should help be able to crank things up even a little bit higher. So first GPU upgrade since summer of 2018, actually. So it's actually been a little while since I've made an upgrade, almost 2 years. Really? Wow, That's pretty wild. I've had this 1070 Ti for almost 2 years. I thought, it seems like I just got it a couple months ago.
That's been 2 years?
Got it, yeah. It was the summer of 2018.
Oh, yeah.
Because this last summer I just ran it, so. Big changes. My CPU is only a couple months. My CPU is almost a year old too. Within the next 2 months, it's 10 months old now. Wow, time flies. When you're having fun on Sim TV.
And indoors.
Virtual racing, real entertainment. Sim TV. That's a good one-liner, by the way. I'm super proud of it. That's our slogan.
No, I know.
Okay. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Okay. How'd you know that?
It's on our website.
Okay, I didn't ever.
At simtvbroadcasting.com.
There you go. We're having fun tonight.
And I'm sure these drivers are going to have fun here as pace car is getting ready to duck off here. The field's going to be handed to Peter Bostrel.
Yeah, so 15 minutes. Again, Bostrel, Haynes, Blackford, Cooper, Mickey, your top 5, and here we go. Time to go racing for one final time at the Charlotte Roval. Green flag flies, we're racing tonight. One last time. Oh, pile up in the back already, and Lidkey's involved. And before they even get to the stripe,
to turn 1, yeah.
a bunch of cars involved.
Oh, there goes the 000.
Oh no, that is the Terry Newmaster car. And right in the middle of the traffic.
He's going to drop down to the back of the grid. You can finally get that car rolling.
Oh, Brendan Blackford has gone around in the 013 trying to grab where he ended up. And tumbles down the order.
And spun off to the inside of turns 3 and 4. Now, a lot of chaos, but still it's Peter Bostrel will lead by a second over Robert Haynes, Thomas Cooper, Jonathan Rodriguez, and then Eric Mickey in 5th.
Run while you can, because there's going to be a lot of fast drivers coming, but he's got a bit of a buffer as we head onto the back straightaway. Drew Lidkey has looped it again, this time and harder into the concrete on the inside of the flower bed in turn 8. Not going the way he wanted. Cooper, oh, this is a fight. Cooper, Mickey, Hefner, Rodriguez all into the chicane.
Yeah, Hefner caught up all the way to Mickey. I think it's going to be a fight between those two drivers. Ooh, contact between Ost
Johnny
and
Bell. Oh, big slide! And Bell's going to go sliding at the exit of the bus stop, and he gets into the outside wall.
Here comes Carter Kundinger trying to get a run here on the back of Brian Summers. A battle for 15th place.
Elbows out so far in this one. Here comes Kundinger up the inside into turn
deep
17.
for the 2.
And he's not going to make it. Oh, he does, but he's going to clobber the curbs and slow back up. Here comes the 0-2.
Here
back
comes
to the inside.
Stone back on him again, side by side. Looks like Stone's going to get to him before turn 1. Good effort, though, for the 2.
It was a wild pass up the road. Rodriguez and Caden Bin trading positions for 6th place.
Yeah, they're somewhat getting it sorted out here in the midfield. Still the pro drivers moving and clawing their way up the order. It's still Bostrel, now 3 seconds over Robert Haynes.
I heard more contact. It was Thomas Cooper and Caden Bin that had a little bit of a rub, I believe. And Bostrel's driving away a 3.5-second lead, trying to take advantage of it while he has it. Cooper holding up a line of cars behind him here.
Yeah, I'm sure Binwell is going to be a little bit impatient here. He wants to get up to Hefner and Mickey just up the road ahead. Doesn't want to waste time.
And will Ben send it up the inside? He will not.
Oh, I think Cooper's going to miss the
Oh, there
corner.
he goes. He's out wide and a little bit of contact behind. That was Algie.
And Rodriguez.
And Rodriguez, thank you. Car cutting the bus stop. That was a 157 of Ost. He didn't make it up the road. We just saw these two almost have it coming together as they got back on the oval. They're still side by side.
Oh, it looks like T. Algie's going to make a turn on to pit road. He's going to service that car.
Robert Haynes was second. He's now down to 4th, so he's had a problem. And here goes Caden Bin up the inside, so he's got big damage.
The gaps aren't working.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, how about this for now? Oh, that's not working at all.
No, yeah, it's not even showing up on our timing.
Really interesting. There's some weird stuff going on tonight, I'll tell you that. Anyway, we're going to keep you rolling with what's going on the screen. Bostrel leads by 3.7 seconds. Mickey up to 2nd place. Let's see if I restart it, if that'll help.
Worth the shot, but yeah, I do have at least the very least we have the intermediate gaps between each individual drivers, but we'll try to get
That's
the
so
overall gaps up for everyone.
Oh, very strange.
Yeah, I blame iRacing at that point.
I got one more trick up my sleeve. We'll completely restart it. And we'll see if that solves the time. I don't know. It's like the apocalypse is going on or something.
Yeah, It really is bizarre.
Not really cooperating, is it?
Well, it's throwing a fit.
Sorry, folks, working through the issues. There we go. We finally got it rolling now. Will we have gaps? Nope. Yes. Nope. Okay. Well, not my fault. Meanwhile, this is battle for second. Hefner and Mickey, door to door.
Hefner is gonna just squeeze on by Mickey. Mickey gonna try to bring it back up the inside into the next turn. Not gonna get the pass done.
Is the time right either?
Yeah, they start with 20 minutes.
Okay, so we're probably gonna get a advanced session, I would imagine. Or are they just gonna run it out for 20? I don't know how that works.
Who knows? Ooh, car spinning in the background.
Trying to see who that is. It's Drew Lidke. He is just having a miserable race 3. And so give up all the spots that he had left. He's now down to dead last. Arroyan and Rodriguez side by side. That's for 7th.
I'm curious if we're limited by laps here, though, because it does show that they're gonna. It says that it's gonna complete in 12 laps, which is what they did for the last race.
Yeah, I don't. Who knows, dude? It's, the next thing they're gonna tell me is that the whole world will be on quarantine and that you can't leave your house for 5 months. At that rate, I wouldn't be surprised. Thomas Cooper had an issue down at the bus stop. Here's what happened to him.
He's been struggling in this last chicane. Second time he's made a mistake there.
Same mistake as well. Brian Stone sizing up some prey. Ooh, Robert Haynes up the road. He's crashed on the entry to the final corner.
Spun out.
Oh, he hit the wall hard.
Yeah, the tire nose missing off the front of that car. Not just the hood, but the bumper as well.
Here's a look.
Had trouble under braking.
Oh, he probably caught the... Oh, he's just on the brake. Oh, yeah, just stepped out.
Ooh, yeah,
Big
hard hit.
That was a good-looking car just a few minutes ago. Brian Chabelski's just had some trouble. He's looped it in the final chicane. Kurt Crum and Jonathan Rodriguez, they just traded spots for 7th. Rodriguez tumbling down the order right now as some of the pro drivers move their way forward to Kujer's
Oh, man.
Kujer's This is in turn 6. He'll pull himself back on course in 11th place.
I see the driver's having as much trouble as we are.
I know.
The Roval makes everyone having trouble, including the broadcasters.
We haven't had this particular... The only time I've ever seen the gaps not show is at really, really short tracks. Like tracks that are like a quarter-mile and under.
Right.
Do that. This is not a quarter-mile and under, I can guarantee it. I know some drivers have been trying to win it in a quarter-mile tonight, but Hayden Ben sizing up Mickey for 3rd.
Mickey's not been able to keep up with Hefner right now. Here comes Ben with a great run out of the final chicane. Gonna have a run, look up the inside in turn 1.
Here he comes, over the curb, big jump on driver's left.
Mickey's gonna have a nice turn run off and into 2. He's gonna have a better line off the corner and into 3. And Mickey's gonna be able to defend and hold off Ben for now.
He's gonna cross him up and have him head on the run down to turn 5 though here. Unless Mickey goes defensive, it looks like he will not. Ben's gonna try to slice and dice up the inside. And wow, Mickey took the corner and almost chopped the nose of the 23.
Oh, Mickey, I hear him sliding entirely through that section. Still gonna keep ahead of Ben. Ben trying to size him up.
And back onto the oval. Climbing up the banking, Ben almost knocking the mirror off the right side of that car as he continues his chase of the Bombshell 88. But now it's showing 16 laps, so who knows? I'm curious what else is going to break before the night's over.
Asking you shall receive.
Whoa.
As these guys still nose to tail. Meanwhile, up or actually behind these guys, that's Jonathan DeCusier and then Adams Jr. and the 22 and 11.
Okay, Lon, I'm going to take you back to the 3rd place battle because it's about to get interesting.
Yeah,
here
go.
comes Ben to the driver's right as they head towards the chicane. Bit of a bobble on the ABS, but now through the woods and over the curbs.
I really thought that Ben was going to send it to the inside of Mickey to try to take it away, but going to sit back in behind him here for a few more corners.
This is only a matter of time. I don't think Mickey's got the pace to hold off Caden Ben in this position. Ben's just been so solid. He won race 1 tonight and had trouble in race 2. Otherwise, he would have been a solid contender in that one as well. He's certainly putting pressure on. 0.6 of a second between Hefner and Vostrel. Now it's 0.3 of a second. So we will have a battle for the lead here in our hands very shortly. We'll take you there when it happens.
Ooh, I just heard someone hit the wall.
To Drew Lidke again, I think. No, he's just leaving the pit, so who knows? For the lead, here comes Hefner. Was a full second quicker than Vostrel last time. He's going to have a look down into the chicane. We'll see if Vostrel goes defensive. He does. Here comes Hefner up the inside, and Vostrel's going to give it up. He's been pretty calm and cool and collected, and
I think he's looking bigger picture here. He knows he's got a solid chance of a really good second place finish, if not top four potentially, as Bin and Mickey are closing in. So he's just looking bigger picture, doesn't want to get too involved. I think he knows it's a losing battle fighting with Hefner.
Yeah, perhaps so. And into the bus stop on the front straightaway. And Ben, maybe a bit of frustration beginning to... Oh, here he comes.
Oh yeah, there's a frustration to look into turn one late look. Almost gets into Mickey as they get single file yet again.
And that almost didn't work out. And he continues to chase that bombshell car. And dancing on the edge of control here behind that blue and white Ferrari GT3. Whoa. That's Vostrel, the green and blue car right ahead.
Mickey gonna turn it really hard. Now here they come to the back of Vostrel. I'm curious what he's gonna do. He's gonna let both these guys on by. Maybe gonna let Mickey on by. See what he plans.
I don't think he's going to be able to let anybody do anything. They're just going to come and take it. And Vostrel leaving a lane on the bottom, and I think Mickey's going to slot on in here.
Will he do the same for Cade and Ben, though? I'm interested as a gap.
And a big slide on the brakes, and Vostrel's going to tuck in behind. Benz might lose some time here if he can't get by Vostrel quickly.
Vostrel not giving him the lane, it seems, at least for now.
He might have to here. Now he looks like he's staying to driver's right. That's going to give Ben... No! He's going to stay in front of him, and Ben's losing precious time if he wants to go up and race that 88 for second.
And now here comes Ben with a look to the inside. Imagine Vostrel's going to break early there. Going to heal the spot for third. Vostrel back to fourth. No, I think I'm going to leave.
Oh, yeah, you got to go. So Zachary Hefner leads the way. The number 51 Finney's got to go run the Lionheart Retro Race tonight. So catch that on the iRacing, GSRC. So a couple minutes left in this one. Hefner continues to lead the way. Mickey's 1.9 back. Caden Bin in third. Vostrel sits fourth. Kurt Crum in sixth. Carter Kundinger in seventh and number 2. And Kundinger's had an up and down night as he always has. Oh, and there goes one of the cars. That's the 87 of Kurt Crum. He's just looped it. And 22nd to 6th, and now he drops to 7th. And all the progress he had made, some of it just lost there in just a moment's notice. Jonathan Rodriguez and DeCouger close right back in. Rodriguez with a run. The 87's got some fairly significant damage. And Crum goes defensive. For second, Caden Ben has caught Eric Mickey again, and they continue their battle for a podium position here. Here comes Ben up the inside. And he's going to be laying on the brakes. He'll have the spot, and Mickey will give it away. Rodriguez and DeCouger for 8th. And here comes the 39 up the inside. Looks like he'll have the spot. Rodriguez will heat it. So Ben now to second place. Mickey in third. Vostrel, O'Roy in fourth and fifth. Kundinger, Crum, DeCouger, Rodriguez, and Andrew Mickey, the rest of your top 10. Terry Newmaster in the 14 started his night with a spin. But now started 13th. This one back to 14th, so he's lost one spot. With Brian Shabelski right behind. Jeff Arroyan slow on the apron. And damage to the nose of the 233. What happened to him? Oh, he caught the wall at the exit of turn 8. And this is gonna hurt right here. This track down. Already had damage on the nose from somewhere else. And this is from way earlier. We didn't have a look at that. So he's way slow with big damage to the suspension of that race car. It is stricken, and that will be the end of his night. Hefner leads the way. Should be 2 laps to go this time by. As Caden Ben closed by 2/10, but he's got 2.3 seconds left to make up if he wants to get all the way back. Meanwhile, for 14th, Newmaster and Shabelski. And Arroyan hits pit lane with severe damage to the 233. Back at the front, Hefner now leads by only 2 seconds, so Bin is closing very, very quickly. But is it going to be enough? He's only going to have 1 lap left. Oh, he clips the wall! Caden Bin clips the wall on the exit of the chicane, and that's going to be a big sacrifice in time. Zachary Hefner going to come on through. He should pick up the white flag this time by. Down into turn 1. What will be the final time? Oh, there's a car spun around down in turn 1. That's Robert Haynes right in the racing line. He's going to bail. Here's a look at what happened. Already the carbon showing through the fenders here. He just looped it around awkwardly down in turn 1 and had to stay there as the leaders filtered their way on through. Jonathan DeCousier hits pit lane in the 39 with crash damage. Caden Bin has closed in a second. Is it going to be enough? Zachary Hefner has led 5 laps in this race of the 12 that we are going to complete. So about half the event. Final chicane on the back straightaway for Zachary Hefner. Caden Bin closing, but it's not going to be enough unless he's really aggressive in these final couple corners. Super aggressive over the curbs and closes. It's going to take a big mistake by the 51 to throw it away now. Checkered flag going to wave this time through for Zachary Hefner. Could be checkered flag. Maybe one more. That will be. Caden Bin, P2. Mickey, 3rd. Fostrel, 4th. Kundinger in 5th. Another lap to go. And that's going to be a crucial lap for Caden Bin to be able to close some more on Hefner. And he's gaining so much time. Last time through was a full second faster than the 51. I'm not sure if this is going to run the scheduled distance or if it's going to run over, so we're going to go back green here and wait until the checkers actually falls to declare the winner, because the timing and scoring is all sorts of confused tonight with the heat racing format. Defensive line for the 51 into the bus stop. Brakes glowing on this car. Hefner, the 0.6 of a second lead, cannot wait until this race is over. Johnny Bell has had trouble in the number 72. We're going to stay focused on the lead as Bin continues to close. Now within 3 car lengths. Now make it 2 as they exit turn number 4. The run down to 5. Hefner and Caden Bin. He's there. Hefner runs wide. Battle for the lead. Side by side at the Roval. In SCRS Ferrari Challenge, Race 3, Round 5. Crossover. Can Bin get the job done on the back straightaway? Hefner is going to go defensive. Bin goes to driver's right, the long way around the oval. Car slow on the apron. No matter. Braking zone. Hefner and Bin through the bus stop again. Big jump over the curbs for both drivers. Aggressive, trying to take every inch of racetrack that they can. Bin's going to have a good run towards the final corner. We'll see if Hefner can defend. There's lap traffic up the road. It'll pull off. Bin and Hefner chasing each other to the final chicane. A nice solid run for the 23. Bit of a bobble as they head down to turn 1 again. Nose to tail, Hefner and Bin. Who's going to get the job done tonight? They both race winners this season. Waiting for a mistake. Hole open. Hefner closes it. Now to turn 6. After keeping a much tighter line this time through to stay defensive on the charging 23. Crossover into 7. Now we'll look into turn 8. No chance there. He's going to get tucked right up against the wall. And the hole opens. Here comes Ben up the inside for first. Side by side as they're going to take the run down to the bus stop. Hefner will not have the preferred line. They're going to have to sort it out before they get there. Drag race at over 150 miles an hour. Ben will have the opportunity on the first corner, and if Hefner can hang on, he'll have drivers right for corner number 2. Ben has to back out. Hefner hangs on to the lead, a big bobble. Here comes Ben back to the inside, and he's got it now. Hefner slots back into second. Can he respond? On the brakes for the chicane. Big run. Oh, the 23 slips. Hefner has a look. Driver's right down into turn 1. White flag this time in the air. Ben stole the lead away at the exit of the chicane, but Hefner is not willing to give it up just yet, sliding the GT3 car around the infield here, trying to get anything he can back. It's going to take a mistake by Ben. He's just that much better. And no mistakes, perfect line through 6. He's a race winner and a proven one at that. On to the back straightaway for the final time. No battles to mention other than the one that has just exchanged the lead. Started in 20th in this race. He charged through the field, and with 2 laps to go, managed to make a pass, and Hefner doing everything he can. A big hop and a jump over the curves behind him. Crum is through to 5th over Vostrel. But Caden Ben in race 1, he was victorious. And it was Hefner's teammate that came up short, but this time Caden Ben gets it done, and Hefner finishes 2nd. Eric Mickey a long ways back in 3rd place tonight. A solid race from start to finish. Carter Cunding are going to end up in 4th in this one. And Crum and Vostrel fighting for 5th. How about Terry Newmaster and Thomas Cooper? This is a battle for position for 13th. Cooper takes a look up the inside. The hole is there. Can he sneak up? Yes, he can. Drag race to the back straightaway chicane. Into the braking zone, side by side. Cooper's got it. He's made a bunch of mistakes there before, and Newmaster's going to try to build a run to the final corner. Cooper straightening out the last turn. Braking zone for the chicane. Here comes Newmaster back up the outside, unable to do it. And Cooper will grab 13th. And Terry Newmaster in 14th. A wild event tonight. Here's a look at your race results. It was Caden Ben at the top of the standings. Hefner, Mickey, 2nd and 3rd. Kundinger, Crum, Vostrel, Rodriguez, Mickey, DeCouger, and Adams Jr. with a top 10 in his first round of the season. We'll be back in just a minute to talk to your race winners. Stay with us. Welcome back live to Sim TV and SCRS Ferrari Challenge, round number 5 from the Charlotte Roval here now with our second place, or excuse me, what position were you in race number 3? The heat thing's messing up my results. P4. Okay, 4th place in race 3, thank you. The heat format kind of messes up the timing and scoring, but tonight was a better night than last week at Sebring. Carter, it was pretty wild out there in all 3 races, especially race number 2. Just walk us through your battles tonight and what stuck out to you after a night of racing at this unconventional racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely weird. But yeah, I think I finally, hopefully broke the curse of having a good race, a not so good race, and then a really bad race. But yeah, I mean, last week at Sebring, I finally broke it, but it was just consistently bad. And thankfully tonight, I actually was able to do pretty good all 3 races. Yeah, I mean, the Charlotte Roval is fun. It's really tough traffic-wise. Like there's not too many spots to pass, and everywhere you can pass around here, it's, oh god, you better be on the edge of your seat and hope you have full control of that car. But yeah, no, I mean, from my point of view, that first race just went fine. Just kind of drove it for the 15 minutes, and then that second race I had an EOL due to an incident I had during Sebring, so I started all the way in the back and managed to work my way all the way up to 4th, which was awesome. I'm surprised I did that well. And yeah, then that last race, the 20-minute race, again started basically all the way in the back, and after a minor wreck right in the beginning, was able to just pass cars left and right and have a little luck with people spinning and got all the way up to the front again. So overall, a really good night.
Next week we head to Oulton Park, which is, in the past, it's been a pretty entertaining racetrack. It's also extremely narrow, and just like this, it doesn't really allow a lot of room for mistakes. So is that a track that you're looking forward to? Or is that one kind of making you a bit nervous, especially after how chaotic and crazy the Roval was?
Yeah, I personally enjoy the Oulton Park a lot. I race that track a lot in the iRacing Radical series. That's one of my favorite cars, and the Radical and Oulton Park is one of my favorite combos ever on iRacing. So I personally enjoy Oulton Park. I think it should be a lot of fun, and like you said, it's going to be tight. It's going to be tricky. The passing zones are going to be very minimal, but I think it'll make SCRS Ferrari Challenge really fun next week.
All right, Carter Kundinger, P4 in race number 3. Carter, thanks for talking. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, thank you, Kyle.
Good thing. Jeff Arroyan was just shy of getting a race victory tonight. Jeff, pretty fun chasing down Ben there in the closing laps of the first race, but all 3 races tonight, pretty wild out there. Just talk to me a little bit about the Roval in general and trying to race on such a tight, narrow track with such big curves.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a rough one, man. Gosh, there was the curbs, okay, with this car, they're not too bad. You can run over them. It doesn't really unsettle the car until you really hit one hard. It's not too bad, but yeah, I mean, that was a rough one. There was a lot of incidents. We kind of expected that, but that was a little bit more than we expected. And yeah, and I technically got a P1, but my teammate gave it to me, so I got to give him credit for that.
Yeah, so I'm interested about that whole situation there, because DeCouger had been leading in the closing laps here. So what was the strategy decision? Why was that made? It was a point situation that you're worried about, or was it setting up for the race 3 grid?
It was kind of both, but I mean, it was mostly just for the points overall.
All right, Jeff Arroyan, solid run tonight in the first 2 races. Race 3, a little bit more of a struggle, Jeff, but looking forward to next week at Oulton Park, a more traditional racetrack for you. So thanks for talking. We'll see you next week.
Yep, see you next week.
And Zachary Hefner in the 51 put chase to a bunch of drivers tonight. Zach, just walk us through the Roval and charging through a very congested field on a very narrow track this evening. How much fun was it, or was it fun at all?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it's a tough track. I found it hard to keep speed through a lot of the infield section. Teammates were definitely faster than me this go around, and they were able to kind of get the car to not understeer. I was over driving the car, I think, for sure. I've never driven the Roval before this race, so I think I did well for all intents and purposes.
Next week we head to Oulton Park, another narrow racetrack with kind of unforgiving runoff. Is that one you got circled that you think you can run well there at, or is that maybe not in Zachary Hefner's chances to win it? Like, tell me about that racetrack a little bit and your concerns maybe for next week.
I like Olton. I've done a lot of laps there personally, from other sims, not necessarily within iRacing, but just a bunch of other sims. And yeah, I like it. It's definitely a little tighter than the Roval for sure. It's a completely different track. You know, more touring car, club race stuff, and skinny, and not a lot of runoff. So I think it'll be probably a little messier than this. I mean, this is more confined to, you know, stadium type racing, but it's pretty wide most of the places, especially during the oval. But Olton, yes, very good track. I think it'll be fun.
All right, well, thanks for talking to me, and we'll see you next week, see how you do at Olton. So thanks for talking, and have a good night.
Alrighty, see you there.
And that'll do it for the interviews here this evening, and we'll see you on Saturday night. We've got action that will be at the Darlington Raceway with the Outsider Racing League, and we'll have Finian back there. He's going to be running his race right now in the Retro IndyCar Series, so good luck to him, and we'll see you on Saturday.